explanation of the present political situation in the Middle East and what's going to happen next. Why have the Zionists and the media worked together to kill the revolution in Bahrain, but to allow it to take place in Egypt and Libya? Egypt did not experience a revolution. Egypt experienced an uprising. And the uprising made way for what is known as musical chairs, to change one and replace him by another. Yeah, that's what happened in Egypt. And many Egyptians are now beginning to realize we were taken for a ride. The political situation in the Middle East now, as I mentioned earlier, is that an Arab Spring has occurred, which we anticipated 10 years ago. And the Arab Spring has occurred in order to give to Israel, eventually, casus bellum, a cause for waging war that will make Israel appear to be doing something which is just. The Arab Spring is meant to bring to power Islamic movements, Islamic governments, and then make these Islamic movements and Islamic governments appear to be agents of terrorism. And then get the world to be frightened and scared. And when you control the media, it's not too difficult. That Islam now menaces the world. Mankind is being menaced by Islam. When Israel and the Zionists succeed in brainwashing mankind, and you know Dajjal has his army of warriors, don't you? Dajjal's warriors are those so-called mujahideen who have eyes and yet cannot see. So when Dajjal tells them, rise up and fight, they go to Syria and they fight. When Dajjal tells them, rise up and fight, they go to Libya and to fight. Dajjal's warriors. When Dajjal's warriors take over the areas around Israel, then the media will be able to portray these as bloodthirsty Muslims who pose a great threat to mankind. And therefore Israel will be acting not only on its own behalf, but on behalf of mankind, in saving mankind from this menace, from the threat of Islam, that is a bloodthirsty religion. And then Israel can wage the wars that are already pre-planned. I explained this 10, 11 years ago. This is what's now happening. I would go on to say that I expect that the next move on the chessboard is likely to be an attack on Syria launched by Turkey. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I wish I'm wrong. But if they succeed and they get the Turkish armed forces to launch an attack on Syria, the Turkish armed forces could say, we're doing this on behalf of Sunni Islam, and use an attack on Syria to further ignite Sunni Shia civil war in Islam. I think, and I suspect, that is the master plan. To provoke Sunni Shia civil war, not just to take over Syria. And that Sunni Shia civil war, if it takes place, that's goodbye to Pakistan. The target is Pakistan, because Pakistan is the only Muslim country with nuclear weapons. And Israel cannot wage her great wars while there is a threat that Muslims can respond with a credible weapon nuclear weapons. So Pakistan has to be attacked and denuclearized. The nuclear plants have to be destroyed. I wrote a Muslim response to the attack on America, there it is, 11 years ago. And in that booklet, I mentioned this analysis, 11 years ago. When Pakistan is attacked and the nuclear plants are destroyed, and nuclear weapons are destroyed, then in order to ensure that Pakistan should never rise again to become a nuclear power, you're going to have to break up Pakistan into bits and pieces. But if that's the fate awaiting Pakistan, a similar fate awaits Egypt. A similar fate awaits Egypt. Because they have to take all that territory from the River Nile to the Euphrates and occupy it and make it part of the Holy Land. So what are you going to do with the Egyptian people? They're going to rise up. They're going to build themselves again into a formidable force. So in order to prevent that, you're going to have to break up Egypt into bits and pieces. And you're going to have to control them piecemeal. The Zionists in Libya controlling one part. The Zionists from Israel controlling another part. And then you have the south of the Sudan, which has now allied itself with Zionism, with Israel. So Israel will be attacked from three sides. Egypt will be attacked from three sides, and you have a blockade on the sea from the Mediterranean. A naval blockade. So there's no hope for Egypt. These are events that I see in the political landscape. The economic landscape is economic slavery. And the financial landscape is a financial Guantanamo. Is it not time for the world of Islamic scholarship to wake up? I'm doing my little piece, my little bit. But you have the work to do beyond when Allah calls me away. To do what you can to wake up the world of Islamic scholarship.